Have you read where David said, I will walk into my own house with a perfect heart? That's Psalms 101 and verse 2. Hello, I'm Clarence. I'm the preacher, and I'm here to unpack the secret of those last 10 words in that verse so that you can live the excellent spirituality that I know you desire. Now, the thing we're talking about here is the difference between public behavior and private behavior. And David was talking about what he would do within his own house when he was in private. And this is a really, really important part because what we do in public does count. But we have a lot of peer pressure and influence on us in public, and sometimes we'll accommodate that peer pressure and behave in ways because we know there are people around us watching and we don't want to embarrass ourselves. But in private, when there's no one watching, or maybe just a couple of family members, well, we kind of let our guard down and we behave a different way. And that's where we really find out about the truth of our spirituality. It is that private behavior that really reveals the level of our maturity and spirituality. And it's important that we learn to look at our own heart because as 1 Samuel chapter 16 verse 7 would tell us, God looks on the heart, not the outer appearance. So when we're out there in public going around, do behave and do be aware that people are watching you. But that's really an emphasis on what's going on around me and how I appear outwardly to other people. Privately, now we're really getting down to the part where God looks. He looks at my heart. And when I'm in private, maybe just a couple of family members, 2 or 3, 4, now how am I behaving when I'm not worried about any peer pressure whatsoever? This is really, really important. So let's unpack this a little bit deeper and see where it goes. Matthew 22, 37 through 39, he tells us to love the Lord our God with all our heart, all our being, every ounce of us. And where we start finding this is in the private place. Now, you can find it other places, sure, but right now we're looking at the private place. And what we do in private, what we read in private, what we watch on the internet, our social behavior, how we treat our family, all of these things start revealing how deeply we really love God and really want to do what He says to do 24/7. So let me give you a couple of easy family examples, and then we'll talk about an example or two for those of you who happen to live alone and don't have anybody at house with you. But like Ephesians 5:22 through 33 talks about the husband and wife relationship. There are a lot of people who think that what they do with their mate, how they talk to their mate, treat their mate, doesn't count. Absolutely it counts. In Ephesians 5:33, he tells the husbands to respect his wife, to nurture his wife as he would his own flesh. And he tells the wife to see to it that she respect her husband. Privacy or public has nothing to do with it. If you're married, then you're supposed to love one another. Truly love one another, as Ephesians 5:22 through the rest of that chapter would talk about. And so there, in the privacy of your own home, how you talk to your mate, how you treat your mate, how you rationalize your behavior with your mate, all of those things really, really count. That's important stuff. Let's take it on to Ephesians 6:1 through 4. Ephesians 6:1 through 4, he says, for children to obey their parents. And it tells us to honor our father and mother. Now, this really takes in the younger kids that need to learn to obey their parents, but it also takes in us older kids who still have living parents and how we treat them. How we treat our family members reveals how our heart is truly set spiritually. Ephesians 6:4 says, fathers, raise your children in the nurture and admonition of the Lord. And so it's the man's position in the family to be the spiritual leader. Important stuff right there, right? And if the man is not the spiritual leader within the privacy of his own family, then he's found something within his heart that he needs to work on and bring up to speed, which is totally awesome. Now, let's take it to just private. It's just you all by yourself. Nobody's looking. I mean, there are no other eyeballs around whatsoever. So Matthew 6:33 says, seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. So you're by yourself. What do you watch on TV? So now as a preacher, I know this for a fact, that there are some people, when you go to visit them, they're really quick to turn off that TV before they let you in the door. Because in some occasions, they're watching things they don't want the preacher to know they've been watching. There are some people that will hide certain novels when the preacher walks in because they don't want the preacher to know what they've been reading. So when we visit, we get a cleaner picture of what goes on in the house. And that's fine. I'm not going to argue that too much. But the point I really want to make is God's always there. If you're doing things in your life that you don't want the preacher to see, God already saw it. You found something that you need to work on, because we're Christian 24/7. Christianity is not just something we do on Sunday. It's not a Sunday only thing. Christianity is 24/7. It is what we are. It is a lifestyle. It's what we do all the time. It's our very being, not just an hour or two on Sunday. And some people don't even get an hour or two on Sunday, do they? And they've already found something they need to work on. So we have this thing of your activities. Now, another way you can kind of look at this is it's not uncommon, at least here in the southern U.S., anytime a family gathers for a meal, for someone to offer thanks for that meal before we eat. Now, that's great. I advocate that. Now, what about when you're in private? When you're in private, do you stop to thank God for food? And you see, some people don't. Some people are all about saying a prayer when at the public restaurant, but when they're sitting at home, they're like, no, we don't need to pray here. Yeah. Now they found something they can work on. And again, social media is such a revealer of the heart, especially in a political season. Wow. Now, you're welcome to have whatever political opinion you want. I'm not here to tell you what to believe in politics, but I am here to tell you that we behave like Christians in our politics. And Titus chapter 3, verse 1 and 2 says we speak evil of no one. We can discuss politics and we can disagree, but the hateful venom that people spew is kind of funny. They'd be sitting on the pew singing, "Oh, how I love Jesus," 1 hour. Give them a Sunday afternoon, they'll be sitting on Facebook, been posting stuff a Christian ought not to even say. Now they found something they can work on. So it gets down to privacy. Being a Christian Sunday morning for an hour or two, no problem. Anybody can sit on the pew, be kind of quiet and look nice for an hour. What do you do when you're in private? That is a great place to look. It is a wonderful place to start assessing your spiritual maturity. What do you do in private? Hey, share this video with somebody else if you think it'd help them. Give them a little nudge on the straight and narrow path. Put your comments below. Ask any question you have. If you've got something you want clarification on, let me know. Might even become a video in the future. Be glad to help you out, have a little communication with you. And as always, I hope you have a great day.